Hey everyone and welcome. So if you've ever dipped your toes into Portuguese, you've probably bumped into this one little verb that can cause some major headaches, haver. It looks innocent enough, but it kind of breaks some of the biggest rules we learn about language. So today, let's just dive in and get this thing untangled for good.
I mean, really think about that for a second. Pretty much every sentence we say has a who or a what doing the action, right? I walk, the computer crashes, they learn. But what if a verb could just be, with nobody doing it? Well, that's the strange and honestly pretty cool world that haver lives in.
So, before we even get into haver itself, we need to understand this key idea. It belongs to a special category of verbs called impersonal verbs. You can think of it like a lone wolf. It doesn't need a subject, and because it doesn't have one, it doesn't have to change to agree with anything. This right here, this is the secret to understanding everything about it.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with that big idea, the impersonal verb. Then, we'll check out all the different meanings of haver. After that, we'll level up with this cool phrase, haverde. Then, we'll put it side by side with verbs you probably already know. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with the key things you need to remember.
All right, let's get into it. First things first, let's really nail down the most unique thing about haver, the fact that it just stays the same.
So let's start simple. Picture an empty box. The sentence is no há nada. There is nothing. The verb we're watching here is ha. Easy enough.
Okay, now let's pop a rabbit in there. Take a look at the sentence, há coelho. Notice anything? The verb há is exactly the same. It didn't change one bit.
And here's where the magic really happens. We've got two rabbits now. In English, we'd have to switch from is to are. But in Portuguese, nope. It's still há dois coelhos. It's just ah. One rabbit, two rabbits, 500 rabbits. The verb does not care. It's always going to be ah. That's what it means to be impersonal.
Now here's a really important point. Haver does change to show time, past, present, future. In the present, it's ha. If we're talking about the past, it's houve. In the future, haverá. But the key is, within any of those tenses, it stays singular. So there was one problem is houve problema. And there were 10 problems is still houve 10 problemas. See? It never changes for the number of things.
So we've nailed that haver means there is or there are. But honestly, that's just scratching the surface. This little verb is a powerhouse.
I mean, look at this. It's a real multitasker. It can mean to exist, like there exist many possibilities. It can mean to happen or to take place. It can even mean to be present. It's just a really efficient little verb that covers a ton of ground.
And this phrase right here is a perfect example. You will hear this all the time. If there's a commotion or someone looks shocked, this is what you ask. O que é que houve? It's the most natural way to ask what happened or what's wrong. It's a must know.
Okay, so we've got the basics down. Now let's dive into something a little more advanced. A really expressive way to use haver. This is one of those things that can make you sound much more fluent.
So when you team haver up with the word day and then tack on another verb, you create this really strong statement about the future. You're not just saying something will happen, you're saying it is definitely gonna happen. It's packed with conviction and intention.
And, get this, here's the big plot twist. When you use it in this structure, haver suddenly stops being impersonal. All of a sudden, it does care who the subject is, and it changes for each person. So you get eu hei de, nós havemos de, eles hão de. It's like it wakes up and realizes someone's talking.
Check out this example. It's perfect. Imagine someone asks if you found what you were looking for. You could say, vou encontrar, which is just, I'm going to find it. But saying, hei de encontrar, that's different. That adds a whole layer of determination. It's like saying, not yet, but you better believe I will find it. It's a promise.
All right, this is where the rubber meets the road. Knowing the rules is great, but knowing when to actually use haver instead of a more common verb like ter or ir, that's what's going to make all the difference. So let's compare them side by side.
Okay, look here. On the left, with the verb ter, tivemos aulas feels personal. It's about our experience. We didn't have classes. But on the right, using haver, houve aulas is just an impersonal statement of fact. Classes, as an event, simply didn't happen. It's a small change in words, but a big change in perspective.
And here we go again with haverde. The standard future on the left, serão contactados, is just a neutral fact. But the one on the right, onde ser contactados, feels like a guarantee. It's like the speaker is promising you they are absolutely going to be contacted today. No doubt about it.
Let's do one more to really let it sink in. Iré. That's a simple plan. One day, I'll go there. But ir, that's a vow. That's a deep personal goal. It's not just a plan. It's a certainty you feel in your bones. You can just feel the difference in conviction, right?
Whew, we have covered a ton of ground, from verbs with no subjects all the way to expressions of deep personal conviction. So let's just boil this all down to the absolute essentials.
Okay, so here are the 4 big things to take away. First, haver on its own is impersonal. Remember those rabbits? It never changes for the number of things. Second, when you add de and another verb, it suddenly becomes personal and shows you're serious. Third, use the impersonal haver when you're just stating that an event happened, like houve un acidente. And finally, use haver de when you want to make a promise or show that you are absolutely certain about something in the future.
And that's our deep dive into the fascinating verb haver. It's so much more than just a weird grammar rule. It's a tool that lets you express ideas in a totally different way. So, now that you're in on its secrets, the only question is, where onde you use haver next? Thanks so much for tuning in.